Okay, we're fired up.
All right.
My opening statements.
So I'll let you go. You're the Heights. I'll step back. Let the Heights go first.
Oh, thank you. Awesome game. My first question was just how were you guys able to shift your mentality and prepare for a game like this after a loss to a top 10 team to quickly turn around and then beat another top 10 team? What was that process like?
I think from a coach's standpoint, they did a real, the day that we got back after that loss, the next day was an off day. And to these guys' credit, every single player got in the gym. Every single player got in and watched film. And those are things that they did. Like, they weren't forced to do that. They knew that that game was not us. We didn't play like us. We wanted a good bounce back game. And they took it upon themselves to make sure that what they could control, they controlled. And then we had a film session. I thought I went a little crazy in it. And I was a little worried, like maybe I went a little too crazy, but clearly maybe the crazy film session was going to be okay. But I think what they saw in the film session was that in the Notre Dame game, Notre Dame is a really good team, but we made them look good by not playing like us. And that was something that we wanted to focus on in this game is that we had to play, regardless of what the score is, regardless that Boston College, our players and our team have to play to our strengths. And to their credit, they did it all game. We had a little spurt of where we let them go on like a little 10-0 run. And then outside of that, it just was a nice pace game. And that's credit to our point guard, really Team Mair taking control of the pace. And then Tay playing both ends of the floor like a maniac. So it was really fun.
And then my next question was about your transition game. You guys were really strong in transition. Was that part of your game plan? And then how did that sort of translate onto the court?
Do you ask if transition was part of our game plan?
Yeah.
I'll let you answer.
Well, when we played Notre Dame, transition was not. We were in transition. We like to get out in transition, and in Notre Dame game, it was like we were just not there. In this game, she stressed it a lot to get out in transition because she knew that we could run the whole game, and eventually they'll get tired, and also to get back for them not to get so many transition points because last game we gave up so many.
Perfect.
So
Thank you.
was part of the game plan.
Perfect. Thank you so much. I'll pass it over to Dan and Kevin.
All right, I'll step in for a bit here. Step
Damn,
in front
they
of my
got you
guy
doing this
Kev.
in your basement now. They
I gotta go
relegated to like the garage.
I got a sleeping baby. I gotta go out in the garage. Baby doesn't enjoy it. When baby's asleep, last thing I need is to have her scream on the. She watched the fourth quarter with me. We'll put it that way.
Good.
So I was curious just about, there were points during this game where NC State more or less, I don't want to say broke down, but they were making some mistakes where like you'd see a pass and would go off someone's fingertips. How much of that was the mental side of the game where the defense had clamped down and forced so many turnovers that then you see an NC State team that normally plays so well start making some of those errors that are a little more unforced?
One of our game plans is always that on the defensive end, we want to be 5 together as one. Every time the ball moves, we want to make sure we're shifting and we're moving, and to cover up for, like, even if they run an overload, we should still be there because we're not just playing our area. And I thought that this is the one game when they watch it back, they're going to be so excited to see us just move every pass. People were moving, and sometimes even when we got a little out of position, somebody would cover up for the other person. I thought that was on them, just really communicating and talking and moving. You guys were out there. What did it feel like?
Felt pretty good. Especially me, I felt like we were all together, and that was kind of like the first game where, like, I felt like we were on the same page every single possession. So it felt really good.
And that's impressive to be on the same page in the environment that is NC State, because it is so loud with the band and with everything going on. It's such a loud atmosphere. Hard, but I could hear them talking, and they really did. If we can talk like that, like I told them, they set the bar and a standard for us right now that we want to really build off this.
You wind up with 4 players in double figures. Team Mair's 10 assists, couple players with 10 rebounds. Just the all around when that starts feeding on the floor. And there's a question for both Team Mair and Tay is how does it feel when things start moving like that? When one player when Team Mair is able to dish the pass, and when you're hitting shots, you start noticing that other stuff. Do you start noticing that other stuff starts falling for other people in other areas?
Yeah, definitely read that. I think it was a play where we were going to transition. I had hit Joe and she made it, and then we went down in transition again, and I hit Joe again for the back-to-back three. I just knew she was feeling it. I could just tell, like in her body language, she was hype, and I was like, I'm gonna get you back again. You just got to keep putting a lot of confidence in my teammates. If they make a shot, I just got to pay it forward and give it to them again. Because if they keep making it, it builds confidence, and then we keep rolling.
I think that also because we played so well together, that when she was dishing off passes and people were making shots, it was like it wasn't such a shock, but it also pushed us to like continue just to keep trying to get the W. I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to explain. I don't know what I'm trying to say.
Last one for me before I can go all night, but last one for me before I let Kev step in is all right. What were you all doing in about 2010 March-ish? I got to know what was happening in about 2010 about that time, because that was the last time BC beat a top 10 team.
2010.
So I got to ask what you were doing in 2010.
2010. I was a stay-at-home mom. What were you guys doing?
2010. I was 9. I was a little kid.
She was 9. She was preschool.
Oh God.
I was watching Luke and Caden. They were like 3 and 4. So.
How does this one? I remember the NC State game last year when it was so close. But for you, just how gratifying is it to get this win, to get over this hump that, there have been big games, Coach, for you, there have been big games over the last 4 years, and I know there have been big games this year and even last year. So to get this one, just how does it feel personally to knock off a team that it could be standing there in late March?
Yeah, I mean, this is why there's a lot of tough parts of our job. There's a lot of really tough parts of being a student athlete, but this is really why we put up with all the tough, is to have this feeling and to get to be together and celebrate this. So it makes it all worth it.
Kev, your turn. All yours.
Thank you, Dan. First of all, nice to meet you guys. I'm Kevin Stone. I write for Eagle Action, but also, first of all, thank you for making me and Dan feel very old. But first question for me, look, I know it's early in the season, but is this sort of a springboard game, for the rest of the year, or can you not look at it that way?
I mean, that's the goal. We are always going to take one game at a time, but the goal is that this game sets a standard for how we want to play together and how we want to communicate on the court and the tempo and the pace that we want to play. So I hope it is a springboard, like you said, and it kind of sets our standard for the rest of the games.
Quote from my high school coach: "The biggest game is the next game."
Amen.
And then last one for me, you guys have another tough game coming up in a few days. What does this turnaround kind of look like? Not to ruin the night, but what does this turnaround kind of look like for you guys now, and kind of how do you approach, that next one?
Yeah, that's one of the things with the ACC. It's Thursday, Sunday, and it's never an easy game. It's never, Florida State's an unbelievable opponent. I know for Thursdays for me, because they're night games, I drink like the Spark, and so I'll be up all night breaking down this game, and it's kind of like pull my all-nighters on Thursdays. And I know for these guys, they've got to talk themselves into flying back, getting rest, and really getting off their legs, because it's a quick turnaround for them to start preparing for the next game. And I didn't mean to take you guys.
No, sorry.
I lied. One more quick one. When you see the men's team kind of doing what they're doing lately, is this sort of I don't want to say a friendly competition, but I guess it is kind of a friendly competition and kind of wanting to match each other and kind of keep this rolling?
Oh no, we're just super proud of our men's team. We love the 2 wins they just got in conference were spectacular. The cool thing is we get to practice right next to them a lot of times. So we get to see how hard they work and the work that they put in. And I think they see the same thing in us. And we're a big family at Boston College, so we're always supporting each other.
Awesome. Thank you.
Coach, does it ever get old to get doused in water bottles after a big win? Does it ever get old?
No, man, it's the greatest. The problem was, as soon as the game ended, as soon as we got that, I was like, hey, find the water bottles. And these guys already took them because I wanted to go in and get them before they could get us, but they had already taken them. So